Truth over fear. Truth over fear. Truth over fear.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Latino Free Minds. We are live once again. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And on this episode, we have a very special group, representative of a group that we work with last year and in this past year, and we really, really support what they do. And I think once I bring them up, you're going to see who it is, but it's TKRL, and they do a lot of wonderful pro-life things that we'll talk about for all of you to kind of get to know about them. But without further ado, I'm bringing in Anne-Marie from TKRL, Tulare-Kings Resources for Life. How you doing, Anne?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. What an honor, you guys. I love your show. So thanks for having us.
No, thanks for coming on. You guys reached out to us. Melissa, I want to say we did the events with her October 2025. I think sometime in September or late August, she might have reached out to us. It's like when we first got in communication with you guys. And, it's been a really cool relationship. We did your podcast, I think in February, which is crazy because it's already August going into September. But, time flies. And, it's great to have you on ours now. And, do this interview and talk about the event you guys coming up in September. But quickly introduce yourself and your role with TKRL.
Sure. I'm Anne-Marie Payton. I am the Executive Director of Tulare-Kings Resources for Life, formerly Tulare-Kings Right to Life. This is a 501c3 nonprofit, and I am the Executive Director going on 3 years now.
Nice. And for the listeners who might not be familiar with Tulare-Kings Resources for Life, in a nutshell, what do you guys do? And, we're going to talk about advancing the mission. What does that mean to the team this year?
Awesome. These are good questions. I can't believe this organization has been around for 40 years. In the community. And still there are people who say, I have never heard of you guys. They might be familiar with some of the big events we put on because we've had some big name speakers, but they don't know what we do. So I love that we're starting there. As a 501c3, we are a nonprofit. We are a pro-life organization, and we teach about the value, the sanctity of human life from conception to natural death. So with that, you can understand in the state of California, that's a tough job to be doing for the last 40 years. It started in 1985, really grassroots effort from some seniors in the community who wanted to effectively communicate their intentions with the abortion industry that was in Visalia at the time. So it started around a kitchen table. Ladies got together. They start writing letters to their city council and supervisors, and they did a great job. And ever since then, it's been around. It's had different leaders. And I think now we'll begin to talk more about what that mission is and how it's evolved since 1985. So I think it was Tulare County Right to Life. And at one point, there were 3 different big groups all together. So Fresno's Right to Life with our area now all the way to Kern County. So 3 counties were represented by one group. And then in 2012, it really all separated. So now there's a Fresno Right to Life group. There is a Kern County Right to Life, and then Tulare Kings is represented by TKRL, Tulare Kings Resources for Life.
Nice. Well, as long as they're still around, right? And they didn't go away. The growth and expansion is better than,
Yes.
getting
Yes, for
smaller.
sure.
So that's great. So I was looking up some stuff and from our conversations with you when we got to meet you, there's 3 pillars that you guys have, which is education, restoration, and defense of life. Can you walk us through how those show up in your day-to-day work?
Right. So coming on staff, my history was a fertility care practitioner, which means I help couples and women understand their cycles, to understand big issues like infertility, and offer a real solution. Instead of IVF, this is a way to help people. So I've done that for 14 years prior to taking this job. I also served on the board And then for a while, I worked at TKRL as a program coordinator and a volunteer. So I've kind of got a lot of aspects going on. I understand the organization and what it's doing. So when I came on board, it seemed a good start to look at specifically what we need to do in the community. So, as you know, in the state of California, you guys talk about this a lot. Abortion is a constitutional right. California, it's going to be a hard place to change legislation. So when I came on, it seemed essential that we really focused on something we can do. If we can't change that legislation, then what can we do? And education really stood out. We can teach. As a practitioner for the last 14 years, I've met so many couples who had no idea how their bodies worked, what a woman's cycle should look like. And we could definitely talk about that whole thing on a whole show by itself, because I think men need to understand that. And I think women need to understand how men work, and it would be great. But knowing that was my background, and understanding my husband is a 30-year veteran teacher, an educator in the public school system. And I have 6 children, and I've had kids go to private school, public school, and I homeschooled. So I'm well aware of what kind of sex ed is being offered in the public school system.
Mm.
And it became really important to me to at least get education out there. So we hired an education specialist. And since education was going to be the factor here, how we could really start to change a culture by getting to its students, that's the reality. You want to change a culture, you get to that young generation and start changing the way they think and what they know. So education is key became the logo for us. Education is key. We have to get out there. So we created a curriculum, health and sex ed, that rivals that of the state of California. It actually meets 22 out of the 30 state standards. So it is supplemental education, and it's taught by medical professionals like myself, 2 other registered nurses, and several other teachers who've now come on staff to help us get out into the community, public, private schools, home schools. We can teach all grade levels. And so that began the education part. But education is more than being in the classrooms. We also have billboards, boat trailers, signage. Our website has been revamped, and there's lots of information about our resources at tkrl.org. So education happens at TKRL from preschool all the way until your fertility years and for seniors. So pretty much at this point, any person who walks into the door can get help and a resource offered for everyone. So that's just education. Restorative programs is that second pillar, and that's huge for me. When I was 19, I made a choice, and I ended the life of my child. So that was a real moment where, when I received some healing from that experience, that other women were probably in the same situation that I was in. So the restorative programs are essential. I have to share that 1 out of every 4 women have had an abortion. 1 out of every 3 women have had a miscarriage. So the reality is that women and couples are hurting, and there's really no place to go. There's not a place where you can walk in and say, hey, this is my situation. And so TKRL offers resources. We have retreats for healing from the effects of abortion and miscarriage. We have them there on campus, and we even have resources for those who have suffered sexual trauma. Now, these are all retreats and resources we offer free of charge to the community. I mean, we exist, and people donate so that we can continue to offer these essential resources in the community. So the restorative programs, that's where my heart's at. That's really important to me as I understand the necessity of finding healing and peace after those decisions, and being a place where anybody could walk in and get that kind of help. No judgment, no questions asked. Where are you at right now? How can we help and come alongside you in that journey? And then the defensive life activities, that's pretty much what I think everybody thinks we are. Everybody thinks that as a job, day to day, I go there, get on my protest gear, get my big old megaphone, put a big old sign out, and say this. And it's important. That has to happen. We certainly have groups within the organization that prayerfully, like, they stand out in public places to pray for those women making those choices and for those lives being lost to abortion. and for more resources in the community. I mean, that's a part of what we do. We take some big bus trips to Sacramento, to the state capitol, so we can be seen and heard there for our legislators to see us. And we
Mhm.
go to San Francisco in January at the anniversary of the Roe v. Wade. And so we do those big things. We meet 50,000 people in San Francisco. So that's a cool experience. But
Wow.
yeah, we do those defensive life activities. And we also have a life march in Visalia, where men take the stage and they have a platform to share about whether they had an abortion in high school with a girlfriend. We get to hear about how that experience went for them. We get to
Mhm.
hear from men who've lost children to miscarriage and how they have hurt and not sure what to do. So effectively, TKRL and the name change went from Tulare-Kings Right to Life to Tulare-Kings Resources for Life,
Mhm.
because we are truly offering resources in those three programs for anyone, any age.
Yeah, no, and that's something that I totally agree with you, and think that men should be more involved, more informed on this. And the thing too, it's there's a lot of men that don't, because society and culture has said, well, you're not a woman, so you can't have an opinion on it. But then again, society and culture can't define what a woman is, so it's like, oh, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do
What are
you
you
do?
going to do?
So, I think, yeah, more men should be aware of, what happens in certain situations. And overall, just, I think culturally be more responsible, right? Before you get to the point of pregnancy, making better decisions, you know, yeah, that's just what it is, making better decisions to not get yourself in a situation that maybe you don't think you're ready for, or it's not the right person, whatever it is. I think, whatever leads people to want to do that. um and it's just, I think culturally that's been made like the, oh, it's fine, it's not a big deal. That's why they take away, and I think we said this on your podcast, the what do they call it? It's just a clump of cells, or they take away the humanity from the baby, so that it's like, oh, I'm not killing a baby, I'm just getting rid of this
Right.
fetus, this, these cells. And that's the kind of stuff that we see in society. But what you guys are doing with, like you said, the education of it, education's important overall in anything. We do a lot of stuff on the political side, and it's because we feel like a lot of people don't know what's really going on. A lot of people don't pay attention to politics because it might be too much for them. But so they completely ignore it, but then they don't realize how all that kind of affects, your day to day, your grocery prices, your gas prices, your property taxes, all that other stuff. It just has to do with politics, whether you want to admit it or not. So education is really good. And also the restoration part, I think that's awesome, because yeah, people do, people have done it. And that's something I've always thought of, like, for women, it's like, if they go through an abortion, like, I just imagine, that it's still traumatic, because you know I would imagine you have the thoughts of, like, what if, those what ifs after, or and
Right.
stuff like that. So, and that's hard for people to deal with, right? Even
Right.
men, when you're talking about what ifs, what if I would have made this decision and not that decision, like, those thoughts can get, very hard to deal with. And the fact that you guys are doing all that and offering these services to people, I think it's wonderful. Um, and you said the organization was founded in 1985, so
Right.
it's basically is been around my whole life. Uh, 40, 41. Well, I'm 40, so you'd be 41 years, right
Yep.
around.
Yep.
Sarah's been in office for 40 years total. So hey, you know, 40 is the number, right?
Yep.
Um, what's one of the most encouraging ways you've seen the mission grow, or deepen lately?
Oh, there's so many good stories. I think what's impressive is last year at this Advancing the Mission event, we hosted Charlie Kirk and Isabel Brown. Now it seemed, and before that we had Jim Caviezel. We've got these big name people, whether it's Hollywood or in the world are cultural changes. What's so exciting is that after an advancing the mission event, people want to step up. It really does ignite something in people to come and attend and watch that there is a community resource happening right here, servicing Tulare and Kings County, 41 cities. Like, wow, I didn't even know these people were here, and look at all that they do. What can I do? And I think that's what's exciting is when we pose the question, all right, it's not enough to be in this room, everyone. You came, you might feel like you align more with the pro-life side of things. You go to church on Sundays, you kind of believe it should be, we should really have a revere life in that way. But it's not enough to be in the room. And so when people leave, you're forced to make a change, something in your head. All right, this is what I believe. Now, what am I going to do about it? You guys talk about this all the time with voting and educating the public, the community on what they should be looking at, how should they do their research, and then you do just that. You challenge everyone to vote, to go and make your voices heard. It doesn't matter for you to sit here and listen and complain about everything if you're not going to do something. So our Advancing the Mission event is just like that. You get a group together. Last year, 2,600 people gathered in a room across denomination lines. So that means a lot of churches were there. It wasn't just one church. You got pastors, priests, clergy, city council people, our state representatives. You got people there, all walks of life, all colors, all kinds of people, to hear this one message. Life is important. And if you're going to sit here and agree with it all, then what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? We're a nonprofit. With our mission, saving lives, helping women, we don't get federal funds. There's no money that comes in.
There's no money in helping people.
There's no money. There's no money for it. So it's incredible to me to think that for 41 years, people, the community, have funded this organization fully. And because we have advanced the mission, means we have expanded all those resources to effectively answer and give help to anyone who walks through the doors. We can't do that without fundraisers. We cannot keep doing that. And when I think about what we're doing, the scary thought, and I think we'll have to think this when they're there, what happens if TKRL wasn't there? And there's no resources for women who've had abortions. There's no resources for women or couples who've gone through miscarriage. There's no possibility of your student in school ever hearing the truth and the science about how their body should work. What happens if there's no activities like this? Then it would be a very dark place. So in my view, what I see is so many people get involved because they feel it. It's a good thing. This is what you believe in. Without people and really defending life, what do we have left? That is the biggest issue. Without life, how do we go on? It's just not possible. So we exist, a light in the community, resources to anyone who enters. And these fundraisers are important. So it's important for me to see it happen and to watch it unfold and watch multitude of people call after, or they start donating. I think that night is really like, what are you going to do? Some people will donate, make a donation one time. Some people are like, no, I like this. I want to donate monthly because this is really good. Some people say, I want to volunteer, and they can do that. And we get those calls. I have had 2 interns step up since last year. 2 additional programs have happened because we have an increased number of people willing to step forward. We've had an adoption happen with TKRL right in the middle of it. We literally had, this is a miracle. We had a woman who created our new logo, who came into the office after she did her work with us and said, hey, listen, I've been pro-life all my life, but I've really never done anything more. My husband and I have been praying about it, and we really want to be open to adoption. Is there any way or anyone like we'd love to be able to help someone who maybe is abortion minded, but we could come in and help and take this child. And I mean, I'm new at this job. I'm thinking, I don't, that's not something we do. But can you record a video message and I'll put it on our media? And she did. And nothing happened for months. But then it happened. Literally, a woman comes to us referred from a convent in Arizona. It just sounds like a movie one day. She walks in our door. She's about 19 weeks pregnant. She's considering an abortion. She has 2 little ones and she needs help. And I mean, we don't bring up adoption right away because we need to be there for her right there where she's at. Just like I said, no judgment. What's going on? Tell me your situation and how can we help you now? And so we had good conversations. We were able to help her at that immediate moment, give her resources in the community, like the care pregnancy centers. They exist with material goods and classes and like right now help, delivery help, like all that stuff. So we were getting her connected to all those places. And over a few visits, it kind of came out that the word adoption came up. She brought it up. And so I said, well, there is a family I know who has mentioned this desire. And would you consider it? I mean, I think you could do this and with help, we can help you, but would you consider that? And she said, yes. And the rest is history. Over the years' time, this couple stepped up into her life to mentor her through the pregnancy. And it became such a miracle for our staff to watch because the couple had to come to the reality that there's a possibility that after they experience this whole pregnancy with her, she may not want to give that baby up for adoption. And their heart was so good and so in the right place. They decided that even if she did not give this child up for adoption, they were doing the right thing to help her. They paid for bills. They took her to her appointments. They became her right hand and they could help her with her other children. Their church came into it, got more involved. People were stepping up out of the woodwork to help her in whatever she needed. With a doctor, they had connections to a good doctor, so she received prenatal care. All the things happened, giving her the ultimate choice at the end of it. And with the state of California, you could actually change your mind. Like you have 7 days. So she said, yes, she would adopt the baby out to them, but she had 7 days to claim that baby if she wanted. And she decided not to. So the whole time we watched, we prayed, we were involved, we were helping both parties. We were helping the birth mom with what she needed. We were supporting and helping the adoptive parents because they were going way out of their way. And I think watching that happen tells me that there are people in the community who are living out the mission we're talking about. It's not enough to just say, yeah, I'm pro-life. I don't think abortion's right. And then do the next thing. But then what? And then what are you going to do? So to watch people step up like that, it's fantastic. We will be sharing more about that story. And if anybody wants to see that story, we've got all 5 platforms. We've got YouTube, TikTok. We've got all the fun stuff, Facebook, Instagram. We will be sharing that story all by itself. It was a miracle.
No, that sounds cool. That's good that you know, you in a sense, you saved a life and you impacted 2 families and helped 2 families out in their growth and and what they're going through. So I think that's really cool, really cool to see because yeah, you're right. There are a lot of people that say they're pro life, but you know, what are you gonna do about it or what do you do about it? And it's tough, right? It's tough for people to sometimes get involved. They don't know where to look or, who to look for. Um, people would see Tulare-King Resources for Life and they go, are they really pro-life? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
am I really going to help an organization that's really trying to help, or is it just another that kind of helps, but still does, we're still going to offer you an abortion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it gets tough, right? Because again, it goes back to culture and society. You don't really hear about groups like yours, organizations like yours that are actually trying to help women to avoid, going through an abortion and maybe thinking it through and helping her out as much as you guys can. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's what you said there is important, Nanny. It's when I went through my pregnancy as a teenage girl walking into a clinic that said, yeah, the test is positive. Would you like to schedule for termination? That was the extent of the conversation. That was as quick as it was. Yes, your pregnancy test is positive. Would you like to schedule for termination? All in one breath. As a young teenager in that crisis pregnancy, are we not doing a disservice to this young woman who would potentially need to think about that,
Yeah.
life-changing decisions, no resources, no like, hey, were you expecting this pregnancy? Hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Would you like
And
some
and I've
help
and I've
here?
heard that too, that people that, maybe don't have insurance during their first
Yep,
pregnancy, would go to Planned Parenthood to get because I think you need like the proof of pregnancy. So, they would go to Planned Parenthood to get that. And yeah, from what I've heard, they'll say, okay, you're pregnant. Do you want to keep it? And it's like
right.
just boom right there. It's like, which is crazy because their name is Planned Parenthood, but they don't plan any parenthood. It's crazy. They like they take it away. Like that's their main goal. It's crazy. I think they should change their name, but you know,
Should. Should. And they're funded. And they're a nonprofit like we are, one of the highest gross $1 billion nonprofit. Yeah, it's incredible. I think what we offer at Tulare-Kings Resources for Life is that resources. And when a young person is in a vulnerable situation like that, it's not planned, it's scary, not sure what to do, a lot of fear involved. It almost seems it's horrible to be faced with that question at that time. I think
right.
that terminate your pregnancy, even the word usage there sounds
Mm-hmm.
like a solution. You want to terminate this problem that I'm currently experiencing, is how I heard it. I think I'm not the only one. And so I say yes to this, right? And then they don't discuss with you. And this is what I think we're doing so well. When we present this information to a class or a group, age appropriate, of course, we don't talk about this with children, but age appropriate, you want to discuss that, hey, there are some side effects with choosing an abortion. And then you're like, what? You never heard of that at the clinic. Like you could suffer later from substance abuse issues, right? If you can't, it's hard to process what has happened, what's taken place, even if you thought it was a great idea. You thought it was a good idea at the time. There's some things you have to process later. Substance abuse is an issue, inability to have other children. So if something didn't go right, you could potentially ruin your female parts, the womb. It could be seriously affected by an abortion. You could have potentially issues with another a person, like your relationships. You could have difficulty in relationships. You could have mental health issues like anxiety and depression. You could have issues bonding with your subsequent children. Like there is a list of things that I don't think people understand. So you could make that choice, live your life as if everything is fine, and then later on in your life you start to experience, whether it's the week after, a year after, or 30 years later, okay, I've had issues with suicidal ideation, depression, anxiety. I have issues bonding with my children. I'm in a marital crisis for the third time. Like these are real life situations. And you have to think back, what happened in your life? And lo and behold, the questions asked, how many pregnancies have you had? And if the numbers don't match up, what happened to that one? Oh, I had an abortion. Guaranteed that's an issue. That's an issue that's going to affect so many things later. And no one ever tells you that those things are possibility when you make that choice. That's
Yeah,
tragic.
no, yeah, it is, and that's kind of what I was trying to like. But when I said earlier, it's like the what ifs, right? And how that the what ifs can bring on all that, and it's not talked about. It's just make this decision. It's quick, it's easy, and you're done. But from what you just said, it's like you're not done.
Right.
It'll come back. So, that's a lot of good information for people to hear and to understand. Because yeah, you're right. They don't hear that.
Right. When you come into us, we're gonna say, this is okay, I'm pregnant. I don't know what to do. We're gonna give you this resource. If you came in and you said, I'm gonna have this abortion, well, we would strongly encourage you not to, because there's resources that could help you parent. We could help
Mhm.
you do that. And then we can also tell you what could happen later. I don't think there's a place I know of where you can walk in and get this kind of both sides. And if you go through it, we're also here. If
Mm.
this is something you go through, we are also here. You have a place to come back where you will be understood, and we can offer resources to help you then. I just don't know any other place that exists like that. We're doing it.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, you guys gotta keep it up. And what you had said a little bit ago is, it's good that regular people fund you guys and help you guys out. And unlike like a Planned Parenthood, right? That gets all this federal funding, and they're not really helping anyone. They're just giving someone a quick fix, basically.
Right.
Um, so you mentioned it briefly. Last year's Advancing the Mission, you guys had Charlie Kirk as the keynote speaker, and just 1 week later, the world lost him. Looking back at that night in Visalia, what message or moment from his speech still resonates most with you and the TKRL team? And how has his call to action continued to shape or motivate the work you're doing?
Ah, seeing the picture up there, I'm like, oh, uh, Charlie Kirk changed my life for sure. I have to admit, I didn't like Charlie Kirk at first. I really didn't. I
Yeah,
didn't like
yeah.
his style. Like, I didn't feel like he seemed kind of brash, and like what I would see on him on social media was just kind of this view of him like, he could be so rude or come across like he's just arrogant. I used to think that. And then I met him, and sincere, smart, funny, just genuine, just a real person who was interested and just so smart, like and humble. He was taking notes. I sat with him in the green room and said, hey, I have to tell you something. He said, what's up? The show is happening. 2,600 people are sitting there. We're doing some other things. He's going to go out and talk. And I said, I hear you talk a lot about the baby, like protecting the baby, You don't say much about the woman and what happens to her. And he sat back with his pen and he's like, okay. And I said, I think you should talk about what happens, like scientifically. And his buddies were all there at the table, young guys, all these Gen Z. That's his people. Those are like his
Mhm.
groups,
Yeah, he had the young crowd for
boy.
sure.
Yeah, they're the people who travel with him. I said, when a woman's pregnant, those cells stay in her body forever. So whether she miscarries or aborts this child, she can never truly get over it and really get past it because the cells are in her body. And scientists have even noted that those cells produce extra white blood cells, which means that if a woman ever gets sick after she's lost a child to miscarriage or she's had an abortion, extra white blood cells will help her heal because she's had another body inside of hers. And his guys were with him, and his guys were like looking at him like, is that true? And she's saying what's true? And he's like, that's right. And he said, okay, I hear you. Like, who am I to tell this guy this stuff? When I think about like, what was I thinking? I don't know. I just felt like I always heard him talk about the baby. And I was like, hey, what about the woman? Like, that was me. So that's important to me. And he heard it and he went out and delivered an amazing account. Like I have never seen such a huge crowd captivated, like pin drop silence and then raging applause and standing ovations. Like he had everybody captivated by what he was saying. And mind you, there was so many churches there, like different denominations, but he seriously called out everyone.
All of them.
He,
Yeah.
yeah, and he made it was funny and charming. Like he was talking about Presbyterians in the back swinging up and whoop hauling right back there, and the Calvinists in the front being so serious, thinking you're better than everybody. The Catholics kneeling down, of course. I mean, he was just like rattling
Yeah.
things so fast. He did not use any notes. He didn't refer to anything. He was speaking truth. He sounded more like a pastor that night. Like he sounded like he was preaching, and he was relentless. Like he was not giving up until everybody heard. And in terms of having a fundraiser every year, I don't think I've had other speakers do what he did. He must have studied us. He must have gone to our website because he was saying things I didn't tell him, but he knew about us. So he was saying, hey, Tulare-Kings Resources for Life, they need you. Like this can't happen. You're here tonight. This means you have to step up. You got to do more than this. And the churches, if you are ashamed to talk about this pro-life issue, go back and read scriptures because you should be. This is essential. So he laid it all out there in a way that I've never seen anyone. And everybody left that night. I have not heard one person say they were not completely moved and changed. And the number of people that have contacted us after that event to do more, Dozens, lots of people just calling. What can we do? What can we do? I want to do this. I want to do more. Ever since
Hmm.
Charlie, I hear this all the time. Ever since Charlie Kirk, I want to, and then they tell me what they want to do, and they do it. The thing that I think he said to me that really stuck out, and it gives me a lot of hope. He said, I do a lot of events, and usually for pro-life groups, there is a church, one church who really like is the source, the financial source for it. Like a
Hmm.
chiropractic center might have this church funds it or this group funds it. He said, I can tell here by the audience you have, and he did his finger, you have something very unique here. There's lots of churches involved here. That's
Hmm.
wonderful. And that is unique. You welcome everyone on this most important issue of life. That's a good thing. I don't see that. So that to me said, we're moving in the right track. We have
Yeah.
and a respect for a lot of denominations. It's the only place, again, that I've ever seen so many different denominations come together on this most important issue. Like just for a second, we're not
Hmm.
evangelicals and Catholics, and we're not this, and we're not Baptists. We are all together. Life is important. And our voices unified, Danny, is more important than any
Hmm.
one church can do.
Yeah.
We're loud.
No. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's they they try to, different things, keep us divided because we all pick our side, and um we end up ignoring or overlooking the things that, hey, it's like, hey, we can all work together on this because we all, agree on this. We can all fight together on this. And yeah, I did remember watching the speech. I didn't go, right? Obviously in
Danny. Ah,
hindsight. This is the thing. It's like I remember seeing the billboard. I think the week of, I saw the billboard right there up by the 99 and the 168, or no wait,
98.
180, 198, 198.
198.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, Charlie's gonna be out here somewhere, and is that's kind of all I thought of it, right? And at that time, I'll be honest too, I wasn't following Charlie. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, I did, and then I didn't. Because I don't always agree with him,
Mhm.
but at the same time, it's like I knew he had an important voice and all that. But I remember seeing the billboard and just thinking, oh, Charlie's gonna be out here, pretty cool. And it's crazy, right? That just a week later, everybody knows what happened, and it's one of those things. Was like, oh man, well, you know, would I have, if I could, would I have gone? Yeah, yeah, knowing what we know.
Mhm.
But listening to him, that and the speech that he gave, which is up on your guys' YouTube.
Yes.
um you know yeah, he did call out all the denominations there, and then also told them exactly what we're saying here. Is like, we got to work together. And that's one of the messages that we put out at the beginning of the year, right? Because there's a lot of Christians in this state, in this country, and you know we turn on each other based on our denominations. And
Mhm.
it's like, maybe we shouldn't do that. If we worship differently, or if we think we're the correct church, or that's, I think that's part of the human side in us too. But at the same time, we can also all work together, like for this example, and fight for life. And I think that's cool. And if people haven't heard his speech, I'm gonna link it in the description
Right.
once this is out. But people should go listen to it. It was really good. And now this event, continues. This is the next year. And you're bringing together Seth Gruber, Riley Gaines, and Brandon Tatum. How did you kind of end up with this combination of speakers, and what perspective do you think each of them will bring to this year's event?
Obviously, it was a hard call, right? After we sell out 2 weeks before the event with Charlie Kirk, um, who are you going to get next? Who can possibly do what he effectively did in one night and just ignited the Central Valley? It was a hard decision. These three were chosen though because they all did have really good ties with Charlie.
Mhm.
We feel like that night he literally left the mic on the stage and said, "Okay, you guys pick it up." I mean, it was a challenge. It was a call. It was like, "Here, it's up to you." I think these three speakers have done that. They each, in their own right, with their own platforms, have really just stepped up, stepped out. I think they picked up that mic. And it was important to show there's kind of a variance, if you will. Like Seth Gruber is knowledgeable. Like he knows so much. If you don't know the history of abortion or Margaret Sanger or its relationship to like Nazi Germany and the genocide of the, I mean, he is going to blow your mind with information. His content out there, you should follow him. He's got so much content, drops it day. Like this guy is on it, all things. He is incredible. And he knew Charlie and had more than one interview with him. So he's going to be great. Uh, Officer Tatum, he's just that man's man who's like in your face. He's a commentator, right? He's got like 3 million followers on YouTube. This guy is no joke. He comes with a powerfully packed common sense. Kind of reminds me of you guys, really. He's just louder and
I want to
voicier
say we're
than-
cooler.
okay. I know you guys. He's fantastic. I think he's gonna bring a whole new audience, and guys want to hear it. I think Brandon's gonna come out with this in your face, like, no, this is what you got to be doing, and we need that. I've seen men really affected by our presentations and really challenged to step up. Officer Tatum's going to be great for that. So yes, you got to become one of his 3 million followers. You'll see what I mean. Riley Gaines, she has stepped out and she has been bold about what she knew was not right. She did not go along with the status quo. She stood up and she made her voice known. She has effectively changed legislation. She has done it. And now she takes her newest beautiful vocation of motherhood, like, no, and now I'm doing this, and this does not mean I'm not successful. This is being successful. I am doing what I know that I'm supposed to be doing and being a mom. So I think she's recently in Clovis, there was a whole CIF issue with the transgenders. There was a big issue with CIF giving trophies and all. These people who are struggling with this now, she is wonderful. She's going to be that kind of a voice who really steps out and really motivates women, ignites them. It's going to be a good night, and all of them. We will have a tribute to Charlie Kirk. I think it'd be weird not to. Like, we were all here just a year ago in his presence. So we will definitely acknowledge him, and they're going to love that. And they were all really good friends with him. They worked side by side with him. So I think we've done a good tribute by having these people who've known him and who will carry on that torch in their respective platforms. It's going to be an amazing evening, Danny. I don't want you to miss tickets this time. Make sure you get tickets. You guys need to be there. Oh, you're going to have a table there. I think we say you can put a table. Let people know
we'll
who
be
you
there.
guys are. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll be there for sure. But no, I mean, yeah, it's cool to have, you have that mix of speakers, and yeah, they have a big, what do you call it? They have to follow up a tough act. You know what I mean? So we'll see how they do. And part of the event kind of goes back into the fundraising.
Right.
Do you guys have any specific funds that you guys want to raise, or just kind of to help with other programs or resources and stuff like that?
Yes, we definitely have our promo videos at night because we share some of the highlights and what's happened and what we're doing going forward. So, yes, we would love to be fully funded for the year with this one big event. I'm not going to say that's not possible. That's possible. But we will definitely share what our plans are. We like to share like these menus. Like, if you want to help out at this level and this level and this level, come on board. This is what we can do with it. Every single cent we raise goes out to those 3 projects. Everything we're doing. So it's good for people to know that a box of babies that we give out costs $60. So we have everything listed, and what's the importance of your giving to fund those retreats, to fund those buses to the state capitol and to the Defense of Life activities. All of those things will be shared that night. But the bottom line is this: we can't keep doing the work unless people step up and stop just saying you're pro-life, but do the next thing. I think what I've said, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, there's no other organization that is doing it. So either you're with us or you're not. Like, there's no more gray. What are you doing to stand behind that? I am pro-life. Okay, then do the next thing and help us out, because we can't keep going unless you do. So like any fundraiser, I think these folks here are going to do us a great deal of service by sharing what we are doing with the community and just igniting everybody with the information they're going to share. So you will stand up and be louder and be bold. You will not back down, and you will have information to help you with these essential arguments in your community, in your church, and in your family, with your friend group. I mean, you will leave with information and you'll be ready to go. So we're excited for this event.
No, that's good. Now I was reading one of the comments, and someone was saying that the reason it doesn't move along is because we don't have participants from both sides. But I have yet to find a left leaning influencer that's pro life. Who would want to
Yeah, no,
participate in your event. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
the invite is out there. We definitely want to do that. It's important. I think, and this is what I get from Charlie, you have to be willing to talk and dialogue with all sides.
Yep.
Uh, I'm willing to do it. We want to do that. We want them to come and see the programs we're offering are not for one side. The
No, it's for
programs we're
everybody.
offering is for everybody. I don't ask what party or what race you are when you walk into the door. I'm asking what resources do you need? And
Exactly.
I almost refrain from saying we're Christians. I'm a Catholic Christian. I'm proud of that. But that's not my first foot, because what needs to happen is that I'm here for you. I want to help where you're at right now. And I don't want the argument for life to be because I'm a Christian. That is not a good argument for being pro life. You can stand behind the science, you can defend the science, and then you could talk about what happens to those people who've made those choices. I think that's what my experiences have taught me. It can't be my faith. It can't be my party. It can be that this has been my experience, so I get it, and I'm there for you. And I'm working. Our team is working so hard to provide resources to be there for anyone who walks through that door. So I welcome people. There is a group called Democrats for Life. I love what they're doing out there. I follow them on media. I think that there's a lot of groups. I think what the media does is make it sound like only this side is for life. I don't think that's
Hmm.
true.
Hmm.
I just don't think we're seeing the rest of it. We don't.
Yeah.
We know that. We should know that by now.
No, that's true, and exactly. You don't go through daily life, right? You don't go into a store or anywhere, or anyone that needs help, and I don't ask, "What are you, a Republican or a Democrat?" You know what I mean? That's not something that we should definitely not
Absolutely.
not treat people based on that, right? And that's the thing too. Even with this podcast, like, we've invited all kinds of the doors open for Democrats.
Right.
Just they don't come on. We've literally only had one Democrat, and I think he's more independent than Democrat, if you ask me. But I think on his what he was registered as, a Democratic candidate.
Mhm.
So we've only had one. Um, they can come on anytime. I think we're pretty fair to candidates when they come on. Um, sometimes there's going to be some tough questions, but I think a candidate, someone that wants to lead, needs to be prepared and able to handle some tough questions, and
Right.
being able to talk to people that they might think they don't agree with.
Right.
So no, yeah, I think that, like I said, if there's that group, then cool. But, like, you don't see too many of them, and you're right. Maybe they keep them hidden. We all deal with algorithms,
Yep.
um, and the algorithms, I think, are used just to try to keep us in our own bubbles. Just on things we agree with, and we try to get away from that. So, um, but yeah, I think so. You shared a recent like impact or success story with the adoption story that you had. Um, is there any other story that you can share with us that kind of sticks with you, that you go, man, like, in my time here, I definitely remember this story, and it made such a huge impact on the other person, or yourself.
Oh gosh, yeah. How did the many after last year's event? Miracles happen all the time for sure. But I had been talking to another ministry I collaborated with to maybe do something to help women experiencing miscarriage. Right? We talked about the necessity for that kind of healing, and in talking about this possibility, it was decided that we needed probably a social worker or a therapist or a counselor, because the stages of grief that someone can go through after a miscarriage, it's really more than my pay grade. Like, I'm not a counselor, so I don't know how that could be for someone. So
Mhm.
as we're contemplating this, literally, a phone call came in to this other person I'm working with. And the phone call was from a woman saying, hey, do you offer any services for people who've gone through miscarriage? And this other ministry is like, well, we're actually talking about doing something right now with TKRL. And the woman on the other line said, TKRL, I know them. I went to that Advancing the Mission event and I have been wanting to help them do something ever since. And this woman is a licensed clinical social worker. And right there and then we knew, oh, we have a job for you.
Mhm.
We want you to help us do this retreat. And through lots of conversations and planning, that's exactly what she did. She is and will be our clinical social worker who rejoins us to host these healing retreats. She is a wealth of information and knowledge. She, again, got involved after advancing the mission. I think people who go there just leave with, what can I do? And it starts with just reaching out, like, call us. We are human people. We'll pick up the phone. We don't have all the push this number for that person. Like, we're going to pick up the phone and then you're going to come in just like you guys did. Danny, you guys came in, took a look at what we offer. You were
Yeah.
amazed by the fetal models.
Yeah,
We
those are
talk to
cool.
people like, what do you want to do for this? Not everybody wants to pick up a sign and protest. That's cool. You don't have to.
Hmm.
What do you do? I'm a teacher. I retired. Excellent. Would you be interested in teaching? Can you hear can you take a look at our curriculum? We have professional development. If this person says no, but I had a miscarriage, that's painful. Let's help you get through that. What can you do? Maybe do you want to be a part of that? Restorative programs, we have those. I mean, everybody comes in with a different skill set. We've had volunteers come and fix machinery, IT people.
Hmm.
Anybody comes through, like, what can I do here? There's plenty to do here. Plenty to do here. But basically, what happens is we start to form a community of like minded people who get together, support each other. We're willing to go out and talk to people. So I love what's happening. And I can see that with events like this, we just keep growing our community and it gets better and better. So stories like that are nonstop. We also started a teen group after last year, Gen Zs and Gen Alphas. The Gen Alphas are babies. They're middle schoolers who are like, want to get involved. We now have a once a month teen mixer. It's a mixer for teens, a soda
Hmm.
bar. Yeah, they have soda. We have food for them, and they learn how to defend life. They practice debate.
Nice.
They literally break it up. We even had a Wheel of Fortune game where they had to go to the history of abortion and answer it in two different teams. So many things like that. These are young Gen Z people that stepped up after last year's event and said, hey, I got to do more. I'm tired of just sitting here. Like, Gen Zs are saying 28% of my generation is not here because of abortion. And
Mm.
I can't just sit here anymore and not do anything about it. So what can I do? And then we said, well, there's a few of you want to get together. Well, we need a team group, and it happened. So stuff like that, that's why
Mhm.
we're growing and growing and growing and growing, because someone else steps up and says, here's how I feel about this. This is what I can do. Where do I fit in here? And we will find it. We have an adoption 101 class because this has happened with us, like
Mhm.
a class where someone can come and just say, I'm kind of interested. I've had some questions. We have certain adoption agencies come in and explain the process in the state of California. We have had CASA come in to talk about the foster adopt options out there, how people can be a mentor. Like, if you are pro-life, there is so much you can do.
Mm.
What do you want to do? I know we can find something in a place for you in this community.
No, that's really cool. And it's funny, it's like, well, as you're saying all that, right? There's different things we could do, and what we do here, we do content, we do podcasts, we do our clips. Um and I don't know, I just kind of thought like, man, I need to, we have done our clips on being pro life and our thoughts on that. But, as you were saying all that, I was just thinking we should probably add someone to the team that's, that's their thing. I don't know. Maybe the team will grow soon, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
because so people, social media is it's a good tool, right? It has its pros and its cons, and why not use it to spread a good message? If all this other stuff that damages culture and impacts the young minds can be out there, well, why can I and the people that we're with here, why can't we use our voices to try to impact in a a whole nother way?
Right.
So that's something that, as you were saying, that just kind of just hit me in
Yeah.
got me there
We,
in my
we,
mind. So
we've had seniors come in and senior citizens like, I don't know what I can do. I'm not going to stand out there. I'm not going to do this. And we have volunteer positions. So we have seniors that come in weekly to do some of the things for us. It's excellent. But one thing
nice.
I can always say to people, and you brought up social media, is, how can I help you guys? Do you ever watch YouTube? Yes, I watch YouTube. Okay, watch our channel.
Yeah,
That has
that's
a
it.
huge impact. We are so close to being monetized on YouTube right now. Like, watch us. Watch what we're doing. We have a podcast. We have Charlie. We have so many stories. We have all those testimonies you're wanting to hear. It's all on our YouTube. Go to there.
Yeah.
We, after Charlie Kirk, we went viral on so many. Oh, it was amazing. What he did helps us still.
Hmm.
We are monetized on Facebook and Instagram. I mean, we have increased our following so greatly. Like, he really did leave us in a position where what he did in the Central Valley in Visalia will continue to help this organization for a long time to come. So we need more YouTube hours. Go watch stuff, and
Yeah.
that's how you can help
Watch
people.
hours, people. Come on now.
Yes, watch hours. Hey, you can help sitting right there, right now. Just go to YouTube and watch. You'll love it.
I'll be, because you post these clips and you see the analytics and all that, and then you go on YouTube and then you just see this ridiculous video that's got like 30 million views, and it's like, this is garbage. But hey, one day.
People are watching it. People are watching it. Okay, whatever. We've got lots of content for you if that's how it goes. But yes, we are on all 5 platforms, and we would
Nice,
love it if
nice.
people can help doing that.
So, you've kind of touched on it a little, but looking beyond September 3rd, when the event is over, what lasting impact do you hope that it has, either in the community or just in culture?
It's a good question. I think the changing the culture. That's not an overnight fix.
Mm-mm.
It's not going to happen overnight. So it is the consistency, the persistence, the ingenuity, the creativity to continue to get out there, see where the needs are, see what we can do. I don't ever want to feel like I can't do anything. No, there is more we can do. We can think, we can get out there. So my goals would be to continue what we're doing, growing this community, enhancing our programs, adding more programs. I know someone recently said, do you have a group for adoptive parents? Because that could be really traumatic and very difficult. No, but I take notes. I have like a TKRL future. Like, what could we do? I love the idea of a womb room where we create like a mobile unit where you can walk in a van, like 5 people, and have surround sound with watching baby in utero. Like, I have all of these thoughts, and like, we got to do more. There's so much to do. So I dream, I think, I pray. I have a wonderful board of directors and a team of people who are constantly saying, hey, we can do this. Hey, sometimes that's overwhelming, by the way, because you're like, okay,
Yeah.
let me take notes, because we're doing one day at a time. And I'm hoping that I can get to all of this in my lifetime or
Yeah.
leave the organization in a better place. I want to leave there knowing that we have somehow enhanced the community feeling for this movement. We have helped a lot of people already with TKRL in just 1 year of offering fertility care, 5 new babies from couples who could not conceive or had trouble carrying pregnancies through. 5 babies in 1 year. We are effectively creating a culture, aren't we? We are changing, creating, and working hard with no end in sight on what we can accomplish with the help of our donor base and the people coming on board.
So for the people listening right now and who do want to be a part of it, whether it's getting tickets to go to the show, sponsor, donate,
Yeah,
or support your mission and TKRL, how would they do that?
that's great. The way these fundraisers work is we have underwriters. So an underwriter is going to pay $5,000. That's not for everybody, right? There are some people out there who want to pay that. And you have an intimate dinner with our speakers. So prior to the main event, we have an underwriters dinner where they get 2 VIP dinner passes to come and meet, greet, take pictures with. The speakers give a personal talk with our underwriters. thanking them, and we let them know what we're doing. And then you get tickets to the main event. So that's underwriters at $5,000. Without the underwriters, our tickets are not that affordable. It really raises the cost. But with underwriters, this is a pretty affordable event. You can get tickets as little as $22. If you're a student, you're going to get half off of whatever seat you want, balcony or floor seats. So the underwriters make it possible, and we are so grateful for that. Then we have a sponsorship level, which is $1,500. The sponsor could be a small business, could be a family. They're going to get 2 free tickets for the event, really, really good seats, really close up, a VIP entrance, which means you don't have to wait in that long line to get in. You can go in quickly. You'll get some TKRL merch, and we can mark it. We'd like to put everybody's names. A lot of companies don't want to put their names up there. They feel like, oh, this seriously aligns me. That's a whole nother talk. We
Yeah,
can do that for you. We can definitely put this out there. There's going to be a packed house, and we will do that for the rest of the year. So not only at that night, but you will have marketing on our websites for the year. So that's a sponsor. You can buy tickets, $50 for that floor seat, $40 for the balcony. We also have half off for all the students, and groups of 8 get a discount. So if you have a group of 8, you get a better discount. And there's lots of different promo codes. So definitely go to the website at tkrl.org. You can get these tickets now. We did sell out last year 2 weeks before the event. That was incredible. So I challenge people to get those tickets now. If you need any help ordering, if you're not comfortable ordering online, call the office at 559-732-5000. We will help you place the order. We'll email the tickets to you, or we'll print them out and mail them to you. We want to make this as easy as we can and accessible to any age group, so we can help you out. So definitely those are the ways you can get started. If you cannot make the event, that's okay. It's a busy year. It's a busy night. Go to tkrl.org and you can make that monthly donation, and that will help us out for the rest of the year. And I'm not talking about, like, people don't understand. We have a $5 donation a month. Like, you could do that. Anyone
yeah,
can do that. Like,
yeah.
we want to make this giving painless. We don't want this to hurt you. Like, can you do 5? Can you do 20? I mean, all of this helps. A box of babies that we give away costs $60. So if we get some people to give us $5 a month, that adds up. We can do that, and we'll keep doing that. So really want to make giving easy for people, but we definitely want you to do something. It's not enough anymore just to say, I don't know what to do, and stay there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and everything you just mentioned. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I think Facebook, where else is Instagram, X,
Again, yeah.
it should be in the description. So all the links to all your guys' socials, your website, the phone number is on there too, and I think there's a contact email from the website that I threw on there too. So if you look at the description of this stream, you should be able to find all their links and a way to get a hold of TKRL. And just, before we wrap up here, what's the one message or feeling you most want people to walk away with, both from this conversation and the September 3rd event?
I have a voice. My impact is great. Every person has a voice, and every person can make an impact. That's it.
Well said. Well said. That I think I think on our website we have something similar to that. Is use your voice.
Oh, yay.
That's all it
I didn't
takes.
even know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
You might have said it. You might have said it word for word, but it's spot on. And that's what we tell everybody. Don't just listen to me. People go, "What can I do?" You got a voice too. Use your voice, and the more people we get speaking on this issue, political issue, whatever it is, there's a bigger impact. But if you stay quiet, not it doesn't help in getting these things accomplished.
That's right.
So,
Absolutely.
Anne
I like
Marie,
what you guys are doing. That's why, because you say it. That's perfect. That's perfect.
thank you, and we like what you're doing too. But
Thanks.
I thank you for coming on and talking about the upcoming event, and we're looking forward to it. Like I said, we'll be there, and we wish you guys nothing but the best. And as long as we're around and you're around, we'll continue to work with you and your group, however you guys need us.
Like that. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for the work you're doing. We appreciate it. I love it. Keep it going.
All right, everybody, peace be with you.
Bye bye. Take care.